Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into a really powerful teaching from Matron Minshali about something she calls divine access. And this is one of those ideas that could totally shift how you look at your biggest goals.
So let's kick things off with a feeling that I'm guessing hits close to home for a lot of us. You know that feeling? You've got this dream, this huge opportunity right in front of you. But then that little voice in your head starts up. The one that tells you you're just not qualified, you don't have the right connections, or, you're just not good enough.
Well, what's so great about this teaching is that it gives us a powerful comeback to that feeling. It's this concept of divine access. Now, what is that? It's basically the idea that God can open doors for you, giving you access to opportunities, people, and blessings that honestly are way beyond anything you could ever get to on your own.
And this whole idea, it's really anchored in this incredible promise. The most important word here, it's see. It's like God is telling us to change our focus. Stop looking at all the reasons why you can't and look at the open door He's put right in front of you. Because when you really see it, that's when you can start to believe it. And once you believe it, you realize, hey, no one and nothing can shut that door.
All right, so let's get into the mechanics of this. How does divine access actually, work? What's the engine that makes it all happen?
And this question really gets to the heart of it all, right? I mean, it's one thing to know a door is open, but it's a completely different thing to know how to actually walk through it.
So the answer we get from this teaching is something called supernatural favor. And look, this is not just about being lucky or getting a random break. It's described as this divine quality that surrounds you. It's what makes doors just swing open for you without all the usual struggle. It's what gets you picked out of the crowd.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got just plain old human effort, all that striving and struggling, and a lot of times you still get overlooked. But then you look at the other side with God's favor, and that struggle, it's gone. It's replaced with doors just opening, with you being selected, and with you being remembered at just the right time.
If you want a perfect example of this in action, just look at the story of Daniel. I mean, this guy was operating with some serious favor. It gave him direct access to the king, it gave him the supernatural wisdom he couldn't have come up with himself, and boom, a huge promotion. That right there is favor in action.
And here's a really important point to remember. This whole thing isn't just about you. It's not just for your own personal success. Look at Daniel. He didn't just hoard all that favor for himself. Nope. He used his new position to help out his friends. So when God gives you this kind of divine access, it's meant to spread out. It creates this ripple effect that can bless your family, your friends, and even your whole community.
Okay, so this is where it gets really practical. This brings us to the big how-to question. If this divine access is really out there, what do you have to do to get in on it?
Well, the teaching breaks it down into two really clear, straightforward steps. And they're not some super complicated formula, but they are absolutely key. First, having an active prayer life. And second, fully obeying the Word of God.
All right, let's break down that first step, prayer. We're going to see how this really is the foundation for everything else we're talking about.
So prayer is basically presented as the key that unlocks the door to all this. Think of it like a direct line to God. You call out to Him, and the promise isn't just that He'll answer, but that He'll show you amazing things that you could never figure out on your own.
And that verse mentions unsearchable things, right? So what does that even mean? Well, think about it like this. These are the kinds of opportunities you're not going to find on LinkedIn or at some networking happy hour. They actually exist in the spiritual realm first. And prayer is the way you find them there so that they can show up in your actual life.
Okay, moving on to that second step, which is just as important, obedience. And really, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's where your faith gets put into action.
Now, the key phrase in this verse is, if you fully obey. That word if is huge. It shows us that obedience isn't just a nice suggestion. It's framed as a non-negotiable condition for getting access to all the blessings God has in store.
And this brings up a really tough question we have to ask ourselves, right? Are you obeying God even when it's hard? I mean, anybody can obey when it's easy and everything's going great. But the real test, that comes when it's difficult, when it doesn't make any logical sense, or when it's going to cost you something.
Just look at Joseph and Daniel again. Their stories are perfect examples of this. Joseph was obeying God from a prison cell for something he didn't even do. Daniel was obeying God while he was a captive in a foreign land. It was their choice to obey in their absolute darkest moments that set them up for the incredible promotions that were coming their way.
So when you put it all together, a life of prayer and a life of obedience, what does that actually lead to? What's the end result? What does that transformation really look like? I mean, look at this. This slide just says it all. You've got Joseph, who goes from a prison to a palace. You have Daniel, who goes from being a captive to being a top leader. We're not talking about a small little upgrade here. This is a complete 180-degree, life-changing transformation, and it's all because of divine access.
And the teaching wraps up by bringing this whole idea right into the here and now. This isn't just some cool story about people who lived thousands of years ago. It's not just a nice theory. It's a declaration that your season for this kind of access, for your own massive transformation, is right now. So we'll end with this final question for you to think about. The door is open. And remember, no one can shut it. The only real question left is, are you ready to walk through it?